So let me give you some background on the original Crow movie. That is one of my dad's all-time favorite movies. And at a very young age that he probably should not showed me at, he let me watch that movie with him, and my entire life I have grown up with that movie because he loves watching it, and it's just a special connection between my dad and I, okay? He loves the movie, and I think it's great as well. I would say, honestly, it's a masterpiece. Honestly, I love that original Crow movie. And this new one has been in development hell for so long, so we are finally here to talk about it. The Crow stars Bill Skarsgård and is about soulmates Eric and Shelly are brutally murdered. Given a chance to save the love of his life, Eric must sacrifice himself and traverse the worlds of the living and the dead while seeking revenge. From director Rupert Sanders, the man that brought you the Snow White and the Huntsman and the live-action Ghost in the Shell, comes The Crow, the 2024 remake. So here we are. If you don't know the story of this movie, let me give you a little brief synopsis. Ever since I've started this YouTube channel, there has been development in this movie for that long, probably even longer. This movie has been in development hell for so long. I mean, Jason Momoa, Bradley Cooper, the list goes on. The directors that were attached to this movie, it's honestly insane that I can finally say I have seen a Crow movie in a movie theater and it's brand new. Like, it is insane to say that. So I went in kind of excited, just a little bit, honestly, because of that relationship between me and my dad and that original. And I'm here to tell you, man, this is not a good movie at all. This is a bad movie. It's not a remake. Let me start by saying that. It's not a remake. It's a reimagining. So, going in this movie, I wasn't expecting it to be like the original, okay? I never try to go with that mindset. But I did say to myself, there are stuff they could do in today's day and age with the technology and such, and we could get a cool Crow movie. And I just don't think that the director was right for this movie. But we'll start off with the positives, and first things first. So my dad had the comic book at one point in his life, and I got to read a little bit of it. So watching this movie, I can't lie, it was cool that they kind of took more inspiration from the comic book than just the original movie. Now, I do wish they didn't do Eric Draven because of Brandon Lee and how sensitive that topic is. They could have just done a different character, honestly. They did that with the sequels, so I don't see why they couldn't just do that, but it is what it is. And for the movie we got in the story, I like that they tried to go more comic book accurate. It was cool to see a certain character and the world beyond the living. That was kind of cool, I can't lie. They didn't do the best of their abilities, but again, I like seeing that they tried it. And I'll say this, the best scene in the movie is the opera action scene. It's a fun, bloody action scene, and honestly, it's the best scene in the entire movie. I think a lot of people are going to agree with that. It's the most bloody, it's fun. There's some bad CGI, but overall, it's just a fun scene. And when he gets the makeup on at the very end of the movie, I will say he looks cool. I didn't hate the look. I like the coat, his look. I wish they had white on his face, but it was just the eyes, whatever. So nitpick kind of stuff. But anyways, that's all the positives I got. Again, I said, this is a bad movie. This is really bad. So starting off with the biggest negative, Rupert Sanders, I don't know how much of a fan he is of The Crow. Watching this movie and comparing it to the original, I'm sorry, even though it's not a remake, it's a reimagining, it is so sad that this movie feels so mid. That original movie, the city itself was a character. The music, the characters, Brandon Lee's performance. The Crow stood out beyond action movies in the 90s because it was so unique. This movie is not unique at all. It is water-based, easy piece of cake, generic action movie, and there's nothing special about it. And there's no style to this movie. And it's sad. I truly think a better director and a better script would have made this movie better because there's ingredients in this movie that I like, the ideas, but Rupert Sanders, I just believe, was the wrong director for this movie. I just think he did a job that didn't give anything to this movie to be like, you need to go see it. It's kind of like you could probably watch it on TV or rental, whatever. So yeah, the directing was very uninspiring. The script itself, I like that they give a lot more time in the beginning so you can see Eric and Shelly grow a development. I like seeing that. The only issue is, and I am shocked to be saying this, the performers in this movie were not great. And so let me start with Bill Skarsgård. He's a great actor. He's fantastic. He's not very good in this movie. He's okay. When he gets the makeup on, he's way better. But throughout this entire movie, he didn't bring anything. Like, he didn't bring anything that brought, like, that original Brandon Lee's performance. He was very stone cold, and he kind of did a high-pitched voice that made his character kind of like a bitch at sometimes. Like, honestly, it didn't really work. And then we got FK Twigs. I don't recognize her fully. I believe she's a musician and an actress. I think she's fine in this movie, but I do think in the very beginning she wasn't great. But like, there's moments between her and him that have good dialogue, but their chemistry never felt relatable. Like, it felt forced because they meet in like this prison type area, and it felt so like, get them together. Like, there wasn't any cutesy like connection between them that we could actually latch onto. It's just like, oh yeah, they love each other, they're hot. I don't know, I really didn't buy it. And so when the movie kicks off and things start to happen, I didn't really care. I think the original did better when they did flashbacks. Like, that's just sad because they had 30 minutes of this movie dedicated to the relationship, and it was never working, in my opinion. Then, like I said, when it comes to our action, besides the battle or the opera scene, everything else is very cookie cutter. There's nothing there. A lot of the CGI is not very good, especially when it comes to the crow CGI. Like, it's just, I don't know, that there was nothing in this movie that was making me like, you gotta go see it. I'm just gonna tell you to go watch the original. And then it leads to an ending that I don't want to spoil, but they do something that I did not like. And then I'm like, wait a minute. If these characters are there and we see these characters on screen in this certain spot, then what was the rest of the movie? And when you see it, you'll know what I'm talking about. But then I'm like, wait a minute. Wasn't she? And it's just, again, I don't want to spoil it, but like, I'm like, that messes up the entire movie. And I walk away saying, well, damn, does that mean this? And that sucks if that means that. So like I said, the movie has ideas from the comic book that I like, and I believe the ingredients was there, but I just don't think any of the performers in this movie cared about this movie, which is sad because I love Bill Skarsgård, and he's given many great performances in his life. So this one just wasn't his best. The action was very mid. The story and the direction just never felt strong. When there was big dramatic moments, there was nothing. It was just like a cricket. Like, it was like, oh, big moment. It was like, oh, moving on. Like, there was nothing there, like, for the audience to be like, ooh, ah. Like, there was nothing. And I was just like, did you guys even care about reimagining the awesome Crow storyline? I'm going to give The Crow a D. And before actually recording this review, I have seen the Rotten Tomatoes score at 6%. I don't think it's one of the worst movies of the year, but I would say it's near that like 9 or 10 spot because again, I was wanting this to be good, like at least good. I wasn't expecting it to be great, but I wanted to be like at least enjoyable, and maybe we could see another Crow movie. After watching this, I don't know if we're ever going to see The Crow again, which is kind of sad, but hey, we always have that original, the original. Go watch that movie. It is awesome. This one, you can skip. Anyway, guys, if you guys enjoyed this movie review, I'll see you guys on the next one. Bye, everybody.